Okay, this is the very first flight of my Holystone 720E drone. Actually, that was my very first takeoff ever. Uh, Look at Smiling Mitch. Actually, that's me concentrating because I've never done this before and I wanted not to wreck it on the very first flight. So, I don't know what to say other than keeping it low and slow and very delicately moving the control arms taught me very quickly that it was very easy to fly. Now, if I remember right, I noticed that in the upper left-hand corner on that hill, there's a coyote. I don't know if it's in this shot or later, but I noticed it later while I was flying, and I just didn't have the skills to go up and check out the coyote, and he didn't seem very interested in me either. Yeah, I don't see him. I know he's up there somewhere. I know he does appear. I think it's, right now I was so busy concentrating on not having the drone take off on me and disappear into the vast valley behind me there. Just wanted to practice moving it around a little bit to see if I could destroy it or not, or not destroy it. You gotta, I'm not looking at the video display, so forgive me for pointing it toward me. I was not doing that actually on purpose. Now, I actually didn't know it was recording. I don't know how I think I pressed the record button on the phone out of ignorance rather than design. Oh look, I got it up to maybe 10 feet. Oh look, I'm looking down at the... tilt the camera down and up. That's the one thing on the Holystone I wish was a little different, was that the tilting up and down was a little smoother. It always looks jerky when you tilt it up and down, even on the SD card internal. I think I'm going to go for my first landing here. Where I was landing, it wasn't level, if you look. I think that was one of the very first things that I learned, was you want to land it on level ground so you don't mow the grass if you're landing it on grass. I hadn't received a landing pad yet, and I wasn't smart enough to pull the cardboard box out of the back of the car to set down as a landing pad. Okay, I think this is where we get to see the coyote. Yep, hi tree. There's the coyote walking across the screen from the right to the left, going behind the tree. And I don't know that I saw that. I knew the coyote was up there. I'd seen it earlier. But I just didn't have the skills to follow it over there. It didn't seem very concerned with me. I wasn't much of a threat to the old coyote, but there it goes. I just thought that was interesting as hell. and wish I'd had a little bit better skill at the time to follow it, but maybe I'll get another chance. This park is only a couple of blocks from where I live, up in the foothills of Utah, foothills of Salt Lake City. And look at me, I've ventured away from the car, but I'm still very intent on how I'm controlling the drone. Things you wish. I wish I'd gone up a little higher so you got a panorama of the city, because it was a very clear day, very little haze. Now look, I've got the hack to go over and check out that hill now that the coyote's gone. I think there's some kind of a varmint that's making those tunnels in the hill where the coyote was looking. Coyote was looking for lunch. It's the best panorama I'm going to get of the city down there. The temperature was about 36 degrees. Very little air, maybe a couple of knots. Nothing gusty, just a couple of knots of a breeze. Mostly overcast, no sun. But the clouds were pretty broken. I ended up landing in that tree in a little bit, or at least on the second flight. And look, I almost ran into the tricky bars. And still, I've got it in mode 2, tripod mode, because I didn't want it to get away from me. I wasn't quite sure how it reacted. Remember, this is my very first time taking off ever. I'd never taken a drone off before, and so I was very cautious. Should have been more cautious, considering how close I kept coming to my face. And to be honest, I'm not even thinking about what it's recording right now. I'm just moving it back and forth and up and down and seeing how well I can control it in tripod mode. I don't think I moved it into mode 1, fast mode, sport mode, until the next day when I went down to a different park and moved it around a little bit. And even then, I didn't do much. Okay, for those of you, who is almost anybody that's watching this, I started this channel 5 years ago and put a couple of little things on it, just playing around. But I think I'm going to start posting more, and I'd like to build a subscriber base. So if this in any way interests you and you want to see somebody grow as a hey, hi tree, this is where I realized that I should probably be, no, I don't think I land in this tree yet, but for some reason the drone seems fascinated with it. Oh, hi there, look, the tree. And then it takes off and takes off again and then lands in the tree. So that's it hanging by a propeller. That's me trying to wrestle it from the tree. Drop the controller, pick up the controller, take it back. I'm looking at it now to see if I've damaged my phone first. No, it was okay. It stayed on the controller. And now I'm looking at the drone, and there was a minor dent in one of the propellers and a few scratches across the top, but they They were all superficial. And so now I'm going to see if I've destroyed it and will it take off again. And surprise, it still flies. You know, good for me. I think I've learned to stay away from trees. This is a dog park, by the way, Lindsay Gardens in Salt Lake City. There were no dogs. I wasn't. There was a coyote. Yeah, see, I don't even know it's looking at me right now. I'm such a smiley, happy guy. The object of this was not to take pictures of my car or me. It was maneuvering the drone. I really had no idea what it was videotaping. Recording, not videotape. There's no tape anymore. Recording. So that was my first flight. This is the beginning of my very second flight. And I'm trying to figure out how where things went. Let's land it again, see if I can do a controlled landing. Yep, I can. Mowed a little grass. Since then I have got a pad to land it on, or a cardboard box, one or the other. And now my third flight. That was an auto flight, and it only bounced up about 18 inches off the ground. It didn't go up to the supposedly meter high that it's supposed to. I guess that may be in the settings that I missed. But again, I apologize for so much shooting of my scowling face. I didn't mean to do that. Again, this was just to see if I knew how to control it. And I guess you have to have a first crash, and that was it. And it's been a few weeks now, and that's been my only crash up to this point. They're mowing some grass again. The Holystone 720E does not have, that I can find, any obstacle avoidance software. So you have to keep an eye on it. I've been reading a lot about drones, and I think I know what to expect. Boy, am I a dour face. I'm sorry, I'm really a happy-go-lucky guy. I just have a scowl on my face. Yeah, I'm really not trying to take shots of my 1996 Subaru. That was a landing to see if I could land it better on concrete. And yeah, you need something solid and firm. Maybe without as many rocks, because it did kick up a few rocks. And well, this is dynamic footage, isn't it? Not really. Okay, we started it up. Let's take it off again for my fourth flight. And there we go. Nice takeoff. And that time I think it did take off over flat surface about a meter, but it started to settle back down again. I don't quite understand what that is. At the time I thought I might have damaged the propellers and it was losing lift. But I haven't changed the propellers, even though they have one little notch in them. I smoothed that out with my fingernail. But you'll notice I don't think I got over 10 meters high over the ground for this flight at all. And I only used the one battery after it started registering low, which is about 2 minutes from now. It was cold, so I'm sure that affected the battery life on this flight. That's about as high as I got. You have to remember that the purpose of a drone is to get above your line of sight. from the ground. But this was a test flight. This was to see if things worked. I hadn't yet received my FAA identification, and I really didn't want to get too crazy. This was, I think, 3 or 4 days after I received the drone. And that's it. We're going to pack it up and put it away and go order a landing pad and turn things off. And thanks for watching this long. If you liked it, hit like. If you didn't, tell me why. Subscribe if you want. Thanks.